Don't build moats, build tech trees. This seemingly simple statement by Elon Musk might be relatively easy to overlook. But right now, the implications behind this fairly simple tweet are really becoming more and more severe. And as we're watching Tesla develop farther into a world where the Federal Reserve is tightening economic policy, where money is a bit more, restricted, a bit less free-flowing, we are looking at Tesla emerging with a distinct advantage over the competition. An advantage over competition that apparently, as we've been hearing for such a long time, is only ever one step behind Tesla, right? How many times have we heard that? Well, it's only a matter of time before these companies catch up. It's only a matter of days or weeks or months before this company puts out a Tesla dominating product. We've heard that many, many times, and it really just hasn't come to fruition. But now I think that we're seeing that the opposite is true. Even though Tesla's competition has been growing, and even though Tesla's competition has been getting stronger and stronger, we could be on the verge of entering into an environment where Tesla has a dominant advantage. An advantage that can only be surpassed after decades of innovation. And when federal financial policy becomes tighter, companies that saw multi-billion-dollar valuations that are still working on ramping their products could be in a very, very tough situation. Now, of course, Tesla is still ramping products, and Tesla also has a multi-billion-dollar valuation, but Tesla's been around for a long time, and Tesla has weathered other storms before. If nothing else, this is an environment in which Tesla excels. Elon Musk does extremely well under pressure. And that statement, "Don't build moats, build tech trees," exemplifies the approach that Musk is now taking. Does this have wider reaching implications? I think it does. And I want to talk about that in today's video. Guys, hey, welcome back to all of you. If you're watching another video here, welcome back. You guys are fantastic. For anyone joining us for the first time, welcome to all of you. Whether you're a giant fan of electric cars or whether you're simply interested in the technology, hey, you're welcome, okay? You're welcome here, absolutely. All of you that are currently watching, go ahead and drop it a like if you guys think that we're starting to see a change in which electric vehicles will be dominant. And drop a comment down below. What exactly could that look like? And again, it's kind of funny because I honestly think that Tesla is in the most dominant position here. And I think we're even seeing a change insofar as Tesla reconsolidating a lot of that position. But what do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comment section right now and share with 3 friends, okay? Let's aim for 75 likes on this video. Go ahead and subscribe. We're on the way to 50,000 subscribers. Hit that bell button. Notification squad, great to see you guys back. Hope you guys are having a great one. And let's talk about this, okay? Let's talk about this. If you're, on the commute home, feel free to kick back, listen. Obviously, pay attention to the road, of course, again. But seriously, listen up. Think about this stuff. And think about moats. And think about tech trees, okay? Now, what I want to specify, perhaps before we dive into anything farther, is I want to talk about this concept, right? Moats versus tech trees. And I think it's fairly simple to look at this and go, okay, well, Musk is just talking about different things that we're kind of familiar with, right? He's going a little medieval, right? Don't build moats. Don't separate yourself from other people, other companies. Build tech trees. Build larger sort of branching technology trees that help your company dominate. And that's sort of at a surface level, I think, kind of what we're looking at. But this tweet is a lot deeper than that, right? As the competition begins to encroach, And as we see other companies kind of appearing on the horizon for the electric car space, not building moats, but building tech trees is going to be hugely advantageous. Now, here's what I think Musk really means. An economic moat might be a term that you've heard of before, but an economic moat is essentially advantage that separates a company from its competition, okay? So let's say, for example, Tesla and Ford in the field of electric vehicles, or Tesla and Toyota, or Tesla and Lucid, or Tesla and Rivian. The amount of experience and manufacturing power and engineering power and talent and batteries and, the list goes on that Tesla has, those things separate Tesla from the competition. They do, absolutely, okay? And that's already advantageous. But what's really interesting is Musk is saying here, don't aim for those technologies. Don't aim for that moat. Build a tech tree instead. Might seem counterintuitive, right? Because you might look at this and you might think, well, doesn't it make more sense to have a larger degree of separation between Tesla and the competition? And it does, right? It absolutely does. But that isn't the goal that Musk is going for. Strangely enough, I don't think that's what he's going for at all. He's not seemingly all that interested in widening the gap. And the core difference is the competition in some arenas, they're starting to gain traction, right? I think you could argue that smaller EV startups are more stymied than large, vehicle manufacturers and OEMs, okay? Ford, Stellantis, etc. Of course, a lot of those OEMs have also had issues with scaling vehicles and getting more vehicles out there, but I digress. The core takeaway here is that Musk doesn't want to simply widen the advantage that Tesla has by a conventional sort of means. He wants to saturate the market, but more so via tech domination. Now, that is where the second part of this tweet comes to life. Don't build moats, build tech trees. A strong, overarching tech tree is a beautiful thing because it allows the company to operate like an ETF. In other words, being diversified in and of itself. That adds a great deal of market resilience. That adds a great deal of potential. It adds a great deal of power in the economic space. Outcompete by having more. Outcompete by being more diversified. In other words, if Tesla is competing versus a company that might do everything the same, but that company can't make their own battery packs in-house, Tesla's more diversified. Tesla has a stronger tech tree. Tesla wins. If Tesla is competing against a company that does everything the same, but they don't have their own self-driving technology, Tesla's more diversified. Tesla outcompetes. More saturation. Tesla wins. And this makes the idea of the economic moat relatively obsolete. It doesn't matter how close the competition gets. It doesn't matter how close they are to knocking on your front door. What matters is your ability to saturate, your ability to outcompete, your ability to do more, do better, be more diversified, and have a stronger competitive point. Don't build moats, build tech trees. That is exemplary, okay? And that is how Tesla has thrived so far. That is how Tesla has built distinct advantages. Now, I want to bring this up as well, okay? This was also something that Sawyer M on Twitter responded to. Sawyer M responded and said yes, and then shared a chart of the overall industries that Tesla operates within. The industries include cars, trucks, semis, the powertrain. That is obviously something that Tesla develops themselves. Seats. Seats are a big deal. We recently heard that Amazon and Rivian, their deal for delivery vans could be pending because there aren't enough seats, because the seat supplier wasn't, really playing ball, okay? That's a big deal. And I want to do some Google foo for a second just to talk about that a little bit more. Amazon Rivian seat supplier. Let's see if we can get some news on this. Yeah, Rivian says pricing dispute with seat supplier threatens Amazon van program. This is from May 16th from TechCrunch. Rivian says pricing dispute with seat supplier threatens Amazon van program. Rivian filed a complaint against Commercial Vehicle Group, alleging that the supplier, obviously not working with the contract there is what they're alleging. A number of things going on. Custom seat packages may have, seen price increases. Okay, that's a disadvantage. All right, that is a tech tree disadvantage. Okay? If other companies don't have their own seats and Tesla does, the tech tree wins again. The tech tree wins. What a beautiful thing, okay? Tesla also has its own service. That's a big winner. Tesla also has its own used car distribution. Tesla has its own infotainment, its own operating system. It has its own app store, its own self-driving chips. It has the Dojo chip. It has the Dojo supercomputer cluster. Again, quoting from this chart here that Sawyer M shared. It has autopilot. It's got full self-driving. It's got a vision-based AI. It's got insurance. It's got robotaxis. It's got semi-autonomous trucks, okay? It's got internal enterprise software. It's got the Tesla bot, the Optimus bot, okay? That is roughly half of Tesla's tech tree. It's got superchargers. It's got solar panels. It's got power walls. It's got utilities. It's got auto bidder software. It's got mining, battery cells, battery recycling, gigafactories, terafactories. It's got its own design department. It's got its own materials. It's got Tesla glass. It's got automation, HVAC, a leaf blower possibly, things that have been hinted at, right? It's got RNA, microfactories. Absolutely essential, something that a lot of people really overlook. VTOLs, HVAC, again. VTOLs, HVAC, robots, automation, self-drive. The tech tree is the winner. The company with the stronger tech tree, the more overarching advantage, will make the other companies obsolete. I want all of you to understand that this is not insignificant. This is Tesla having a very real advantage here. And this philosophy, don't build moats, build tech trees, is so vital to grasp. It is the epitome of why Tesla continues to win. But it doesn't stop there. Oh no, it doesn't stop there at all, okay? Because shortly after talking about this, Elon Musk also weighed in during an interview with Tesla Silicon Valley Club, okay? Tesla owner Silicon Valley Club, and brought up a very interesting point about other companies, other electric startups, possibly not making it forward. Now, that's especially interesting when we're talking about overarching domination, because I think we could look at these companies not having as thoroughly developed tech trees, and I think that's noteworthy. I think we could also look at them from the angle of not having, okay, technology that makes them stand apart quite as much. But I think we could also look at them from the angle of Tesla maybe even wanting to acquire them to make that tech tree even more dominant. Right? We're entering into an era where acquisitions for electric vehicle companies and startups could be at an all-time high. And I don't think that that's unlikely at all. I think if financial policy is tighter, I think if times are tougher, and guess what? The money isn't flowing as freely. It's not. And that can make things much more difficult. Tesla is not opposed to mergers and acquisitions. And during this interview, okay, Elon Musk brought this up. And he also brought up Lucid Motors and Rivian. Each electric vehicle startup, even if it's not as developed as Tesla, it's got its own tech tree. These startups have their own tech trees. They have their own technology. And if they start to show signs of economic weakness, this would be a perfect opportunity for Musk to expand on that philosophy even more, to build a better tech tree, to acquire other companies, to make that tech tree stronger and stronger. And Musk followed up on Twitter about this conversation discussing Lucid and discussing Rivian and said, and I quote, "If they cut their OPEX, operating expenses or expenditure, and COGS, cost of goods sold, dramatically, then they have a chance. But that hasn't happened yet." And that makes us wonder, could Musk be sitting on the sidelines with piles of cash just waiting for the competition be ready to be acquired? Just waiting for the finances to slip. Just waiting for weakness to be shown. Could that be how the tech tree goes even beyond where it is now? Now, Rivian has two models on offer, the R1T and the R1S. A light-duty, relatively speaking anyway, electric truck with quad-motor drive, and an SUV, more conventionally styled and designed. Do I think Tesla could have interest in acquiring those and folding them within their own sort of technology? I actually do. I think that there could be an impetus for Tesla to add vehicles like this to its lineup. And I think that that could be a sort of goal here, right? For Tesla in the near term. I've talked about the next sort of recession, the next economic decline. And again, a lot of this is speculation. Keep that in mind. We don't know when that's going to happen. We don't know if that's going to happen. Seriously, keep that in mind. But again, these companies are obviously not in the same position that Tesla is to weather something like that. And now we've got Lucid, okay? We can look at the Lucid Air sedan. Something that Lucid has done very well, and I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, is Lucid has been able to push range to a very high degree. I think that it's really noteworthy that Lucid's production is lower, but they obviously are doing something right with battery design, okay? And, these are fairly expensive vehicles, so again, that's worth noting. But Lucid has been able to push range to a very, very high extent. And again, that's how you make that technology tree even more powerful, by acquiring companies like this. Now, right now, and let's take a look at this. Okay, let's take a look at Rivian stock, just briefly. Rivian stock right now has a market cap of $26.19 billion. That's less than Twitter for reference there, okay? Let's look at Lucid. Let's take a look at this. I believe that both of these actually entered into the public space, relatively recently. I would say during the past market cycle. Lucid's market cap here, $29.22 billion. The two put together about $60 billion there, actually just under. And again, do I think that Musk wants to see them, not succeed? No, I really don't. But I think that Musk here is being pragmatic. And in terms of not building moats and building tech trees instead, that pragmatic approach goes a great distance. Okay? Which is huge. The technology impetus here is big. Other factories could be absorbed. Other pieces of technology so far unexplored could be absorbed. There is potential here. And the competition, like Musk said here, all right, and this is very noteworthy. If they cut their operating expenditure and cost of goods sold dramatically, then they have a chance. That hasn't happened yet. Could Musk lead them to victory? Could that happen? It's interesting. It's an interesting thought, right? And it's a thought that is worth considering. If economic conditions get tough, we're going to see a lot of startups, okay, in this sector especially. List of EV startups. Let's pull that up really quick. I know that there are obviously many out there, but anyway, again, it really is something that could turn the tide of the electric vehicle space. Now, just to give you a bit of extra context as well, the three big auto manufacturers in North America, okay, Detroit's big three, Ford, GM, and Chrysler, which has now become Stellantis, more or less, okay? These companies were born out of the Great Depression, okay? These companies gained domination during that time. And a lot of the other startups fell apart. A lot of the competition dissolved. Right now, I believe that we are looking at the new formation of a new big three. And I think that electric vehicles dominate the next stage. The next evolution, I think, will be EV-centric. And the companies that have the best EV potential are going to rule. During economic periods of great growth, when financial policy is relatively easy, when money is flowing, startups thrive. New companies thrive, right? But during economic times that are tougher, things are consolidated and behemoths emerge. Will there even be a big three for the electric car space? If you think there will be, what companies do you think would exist here? Maybe Tesla, Ford, VW? Maybe Tesla, Ford, and GM? Or do you think it'll just be one? One company that is poised for a world that is much more conducive to electric vehicles. Will there be that much consolidation of power? What do all of you think? Because again, this is a tough subject, right? The Great Depression was something that really set the auto market apart. And the Great Recession tested their resolve. But at the same time, these market conditions are how the behemoths emerge. Consolidation, mergers and acquisitions, and other advantages set large companies apart. Could this be Tesla's opportunity to finally completely dominate the electric vehicle space? Could a lot of the smaller competition become obsolete? It really is an interesting question. And here's the thing. For the most recent quarter, Tesla had about $18 billion of cash on hand. Now, it appears as though Rivian had about $16 billion, Lucid had about $5.4 billion. But here's the thing that we really need to understand. Right now, Tesla has far less that needs to be done to make the same kind of progress that Lucid and Rivian need to make, right? They have a lot of extra ramping to do. They need to scale manufacturing, get more vehicles out there. Tesla is already doing a great deal of that. So Tesla's cash reserves have far less friction against them. Tesla is still in a very, very strong position here, and I think that the future will accentuate that even more. Just for reference as well, back in 2014, Tesla had $2.5 billion of cash reserves on hand for the first quarter. That has grown immensely. Tesla's cash reserves are now being bolstered by that sort of giant tech tree as well. And that, by sort of association, has expanded that economic moat even more. As Musk has said, don't build moats, build tech trees. The real question is, do those tech trees build the moats for you? I want you guys to think about that. Anyway, with that being said, guys, let me know what you guys think about this as well. Drop it a like if you liked it, subscribe for more stuff like this, share with your friends. Give me your thoughts and opinions. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell button. Have a great one, guys, and adios.